Hey there, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be going over how to fix a dented egg, and we're going to actually start with a couple of examples. Well, let's first show off what a good egg looks like. These are from my juniper mango pairing, and here we've got two tiny perfect gecko eggs. Now these ones are a little bit bigger than the ones I'm going to show a little bit later. I'm just going to be very careful. And that's just because they're slightly older and they've had time to swell up. So I'll go ahead and cover these back up. The next set of eggs are from my kiwi mango pairing, and I don't know whether I just missed them. That's more likely than not the case. I checked for multiple days before I found these ones and I didn't see any, and I'm guessing she just buried them very well. In any case, when I found these eggs, they had one had one dent on the back and one dent on the top that were like really bad, like they cut halfway into the egg. And the other egg had a really long slit down the middle. Thankfully, it wasn't open, but I was very concerned that both of these eggs were not going to do very well. Now, you may not be able to see it very clearly, but this egg right here is the one with the slit. And this egg right here is the one that had two dents on it. So I'm going to pick up the dented one, and I'm going to just ever so slightly turn it. I'm going to be very gentle. Sorry, this perlite is very hard to grab. So let's see. As you can see, dents are almost gone. There's some really bad cracking along the eggshell just because of how bad the dents were. And these are after I cleaned them. Like, I went through with a little toothbrush and gently wiped out that one's cracks because I didn't want anything getting inside of the egg. That one was the one I was most worried about because that is the worst denting I've ever seen. And then this little slitted one, let's pick this bad boy up. This one I was very concerned about too because the slit was very deep. Hold on, let me get my phone to focus. There we go. So it's a very shallow dip. And after this, I'll go ahead and show you what they looked like originally. I, unfortunately, didn't remember to take out a video when I first saw it. I was so freaked out that the eggs were not going to make it if I didn't take immediate action. So what did I do to fix this? Well, I guess what would better happen is, how does this even happen? Usually denting is a sign of a dehydrated egg. An egg without enough humidity, an egg in a dry space, basically the same thing. So the best way to go about fixing it is to get it a lot of humidity and as quickly as possible. So on the very night that I found these, I picked them up and I put them in this big tub down here. Now this tub usually has a humidity of 98%. However, that's 98% spread around this whole enclosure, so it's actually probably closer to 80%. It's just lower. Especially when you consider that these eggs are semi-near this ventilation hole. They used to be on the other side, over here, and I was concerned that they might get too wet, so I moved them a couple days ago. That being said, I felt that these two eggs were not going to get enough humidity in this big box, so I put them in this smaller box. And I left them like that for one day. And I thought about it and I was like, okay. I'd seen some changes and I thought, you know, maybe there's a better way to do this. I looked it up on the internet. Obviously, the best way to find answers. And one of the best ones I found was just to wet a little slip of paper towel and lay it across the top. Or, I guess, wherever the dent is, not necessarily the top. So I took some paper towels, ripped them up, set them on top, and I did this for about 3 days. And every day I would come back and I'd water the paper towels, and every day the dents got smaller. So it's a very viable claim, and I can't show this on this camera yet, but I will come back and add video after the fact. But I checked last night, and there was actually movement in the eggs, and I was so stoked because even though the dents had been gone, I was really concerned that just the lasting damage of them being so dented would have been enough to do them in. Now, again, these eggs are, I believe they're only 11 days old. No, it's 12. They're 12 days old. So they still have a lot of development to do. So it could still go south, but so far so good. I'm going to go ahead and get my other camera set up so I can show you some movement, hopefully, and we'll be right back. Wow, okay, so it has been a while. The eggs that we were talking about originally, the dented and slit one, are now about 40 days old. Yeah, crazy. So, you may notice we now have new eggs. These two are the ones in question, so I'm gonna bring us in real close and see what's changed about them, what stayed the same. They are still viable. So that is absolutely amazing. Here we go. So you can see, well, it's hard to see because, you know, they don't really look like they're growing that much until you compare them to the other ones. So this one here was the dented egg, and I'm going to just slightly turn it and then turn my phone. See if I can get it to focus. And you'll see that this egg isn't dented. It's got those cracks, which are basically just beauty marks at this point, which is, you know, really, really awesome. But if we compare this egg, I'll set it right there, this 42-day-old egg to this, I believe this one at this time is like 3-4 days old. Look at that size difference. It's slightly wider, slightly fatter. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit better. And then we could compare it to the 63-day-old, excuse me, egg, which is even wider. So they're definitely growing. I do think that they're growing at a slower rate, but I could be wrong. When we get to 60 days, we'll see. But thank you so much for watching. I'm happy to go on this really strange journey. I never thought I'd end up with such horribly dented eggs, but I'm glad to see that at least they're recovering. If you liked this video or found it helpful, or are interested in seeing what these geckos look like when they hatch, consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it if you liked this video, or disliked it, or left a comment. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.